Hey guys, Eric here, and today I'm going to do a review of Sean B, or Buckeye Studios' new film, Spider-Man Retribution. Sean B directs it, he also acts in it, and he does a pretty good job in both categories. The plot follows Peter Parker as he comes out of hiding and becomes Spider-Man once more to fight the Green Goblin. Now, in this review, I will talk some spoilers, so be warned. I do suggest checking out the film first, because it was really good. Alright, ready? Spoiler warning's up. Now let's get into this review. First, I'm going to talk about the casting and acting. I think Sean B, Sam S, Peter H, and Eric, I forget the last initial, but the guy who plays Foggy Nelson, I think they're the best members of the cast. Sean B, you can tell he's passionate about this project. He plays a really good Peter Parker and a really good Spider-Man. He's really interesting to watch. Sam S and Sean B's chemistry in this movie is really fun, and it makes the movie a bit better because they almost seem like they're really good friends. I mean, I know they are friends in real life, but even though they're playing characters, you can tell that these characters have history. Peter H makes a great Goblin and a great Sin Eater. Oh my god, Sin Eater was one of my favorite parts of this movie. And the guy who plays Foggy, Eric, that's my favorite casting choice you made for this film. You can tell he's having fun with this, and every scene that he was in made me kind of chuckle, and he was just fun to watch, you know? Next, I'd like to talk about the cinematography and camera work. This has improved so much compared to Responsibility. There's shots in this film that have Sin Eater walking through like his house, and it's just one take. It's one take, and it's about 2 minutes long, and it's really, really cool to watch, because I bet you that took them a long time to nail. There's also this one scene where Harry's walking downstairs in the beginning, and it follows him throughout, and there's lots of cool camera angles. I think the cinematography was one of the best parts of this film. My favorite new character that Sean has brought into this universe is Sin Eater. Sin Eater was such a cool presence to have in this film. He literally makes his entrance by blowing someone's face off, which was so satisfying. Oh my god, that scene was amazing. His costume is super cool, like the green and the purple trench coat. It's straight from the comics. Also, the voice. Oh my god, the voice was so cool. Peter H did an amazing job bringing this character to life. And the character's motives are pretty interesting. I'd really like to see him in more fan films. He's just so cool. Sin Eater also adds a great deal of internal conflict to the characters of the film, and that makes the film so much better and so much more interesting. The story for this film is also really good. Peter Parker is trying to come back as Spider-Man, but he's really challenged both physically and mentally. You see, with the additions such as Sin Eater and the Goblin, Peter debates whether he should kill or whether he shouldn't, which I think was a great element to this story. It's something new and something fresh, and bringing in new characters such as the Sin Eater, who aren't really in fan films or normal films to be honest, it just makes it so original and so unique, and I really applaud them for that. This movie also serves great as a sequel. If you watched Responsibility and then Retribution in a row, it would flow so naturally. The way this movie starts off with Peter having flashbacks of Responsibility and Harry coming down and getting ready, putting the Goblin mask on, it seems like such a natural progression. And I think that's what they did really well. There's no time gap, like you don't feel like things happen in between. It feels like a natural progression, and I really like that. Now, the best part about this film is the guy who got to play the news reporter. He deserves an Oscar. He was the greatest part about this film. His acting carried the whole movie. You could see the emotion. He was pretty good-looking guy, if I do say so myself. I mean, whoever he is. For the casting and acting, it was either really good or eh. Specifically, Eddie Brock and Daredevil. They didn't really seem to fit their roles. The Daredevil actor, while he was good and looked the part and everything, he didn't really seem like he was like really embracing the role. He sounded like he was kind of just saying his lines. Same with the Eddie Brock actor, and he didn't really seem like Eddie Brock to me. But other than that, the casting and acting was alright. Speaking of Eddie Brock, and I personally think this is the biggest flaw the film has, he comes in at the beginning, tries to like attack Peter, and then he's like, "Oh, hi Peter, I didn't know it was you. You are Peter, right?" And then he brings him to his house, gives him this drive with the symbiote thing, and then just leaves for the rest of the film. We get no explanation about him, no background other than their dads used to work together, and he's solely there to set up Venom, and it doesn't really work for the film. Sean, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm being harsh, but I told you when I was going to make this review, I was going to make it honest. I think Eddie was probably the weakest part of this film. If he was in maybe like 2 or 3 more scenes and has a bit more to do with the story, he would be fine. But he just shows up in the beginning and doesn't show up again, not even in the after credit scene. Now I know this it wasn't really controllable, but I'm sorry I had to mention it. Some scenes in Retribution were filmed like a year apart, and this is so easy to tell with the actor Sam S, who has like a high-pitched voice in one scene and a deep voice in the others, and it's really easy to tell that they were filmed at 2 different times.
Peter, you need to come back as Spider-Man.
Okay, I guess I'll come back.
Good. Now let's make a prison sandwich with 2 Bubbas.
Now, I know I said the story was good in the last segment, but at the same time, there are some issues. Like, there's the Eddie Brock thing. Sin Eater shows up, and apparently he's a big villain, and then he just kind of leaves halfway through the movie and doesn't show up again until the after credit scene, despite him continuously being talked about throughout the film. And I already mentioned the Eddie Brock story, my bad. There's a Daredevil story, there's a Punisher side story, and it's a little jumbled. If you organized it a bit better, and maybe had Sin Eater show up, like, a bit more in it, instead of just being mentioned at the end of the film, and the film ends really abruptly, then it would probably be a bit better. Now we're going to talk about CGI. The CGI was really good. Cypher Films and all those guys, they did such a good job with it. But it was overused sometimes. There's this one scene where Peter's looking for a bomb, and it's literally like a full 40 seconds of this CGI Spider-Man swinging around, and it just kind of takes you out of the film. Now, Cypher did a great job with it, don't get me wrong. It's amazing, but when you go from a scene that's fully live action to fully CGI, and the CGI scene lasts long, it's really noticeable. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the writing. Now, the writing was good in some parts and bad in others. Like, there's some really cheesy lines in it, like, "I am the bomb squad." And there's a few more kind of cheesy lines in it, but overall, the writing wasn't terrible. I'm just saying that there was some lines that could have been avoided. Now, before you guys go into the comments and freak out for me insulting Sean or insulting Buckeye Studios film, no, we're friends. I asked him if he wanted me to make a review. He said yes. I asked him if I could make it honest. He said yes. And he made a review for Spider-Man Renegade, and he was honest with that. And honestly, if he trashed Spider-Man Renegade, I'd be like, yeah, you were honest. So, overall, I do suggest you check out this film. They worked so hard on it, and it'd be great for you to show their support. It is a very entertaining film. I personally liked it, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Anyways, guys, that's it. Hopefully, we might be filming the 500 subscriber special and wrapping up Punisher this weekend. But yeah, check out Spider-Man Retribution, links in the description, check out Buckeye Studios, and see you guys later.